Why, good evening. Welcome to Gabe's Mini Synthesis number 2. Hope you had a good fall break. Let's get back into the action. Spanning from weeks 4 through 6, I found a beautiful relationship of pathos between Active Voices Chapter 20, A Decent Meal Chapter 2, and The Gift of Strawberries. We'll kick it off with item 1, which I call Active Voices Chapter 20. In this chapter, pathos is described as a speaker or author's emotional appeal to its audience. It pulls at one's heartstrings in order to take away and sway someone's opinion, or just to make them listen. Small things like tone and delivery can make or break someone's pathos. The small details really matter. I thought that was an accurate representation and description of it, and then I also wanted to connect it with A Decent Meal Chapter 2. Now, the author Michael Carolyn, they really use, in this chapter, they talk about SNAP benefits, which is essentially food federal aid, food stamps. It provides families with a certain monthly amount for spending money on groceries and other necessities. Typically, this is like $125. Well, besides the point, um, Carolyn has 22 participants that he selected with opposing views to the SNAP program put themselves in the shoes of people in SNAP benefits. But he didn't just have them put themselves in the shoes of them, like mentally. Carolyn physically said, you know what, you're going to participate in this program, you're going to go on a budget for a month, and you're really going to experience what these people that are on the SNAP program experience rather than what your preconceived notions are of it. Pathos is used here because, when you have someone thinking in terms of like putting yourself in someone else's shoes, you can only go so far with that. But providing that emotional connection with themselves in that situation gave them a better idea, and by them I mean the participants, a better idea of what it's like living off the SNAP program. And I think that's awesome. Honestly, I really like that connection. That was probably my favorite one out of the three here with pathos itself. But before I get carried on a tangent because it's a little late, we'll go with the item three, which is The Gift of Strawberries. It's an excerpt from Braiding Sweetgrass. And the author describes the role that strawberries played in her culture and personal beliefs. Um, it wasn't just like strawberries in general, it was the wild strawberries that were made on the farms that she helped on, lived on. Um, Rather than just kind of giving out material things, the author really wanted to focus on showing us the beauty and the love that goes into handmade goods and be having that gifted rather than something like bought off the shelf, or in the case of the strawberries themselves, the wild strawberries weren't really used for profit. They were used for trading to gain knowledge of something else. But I didn't just do that, it also established interpersonal connections and relationships with neighbors, and then deeper ones with friends and family. And pathos is used here to really get into the audience's head and have them think about like uh, what receiving a handmade gift like meant to them. And for me personally, when I receive like a handmade gift or just even like something as simple as like a cute little note, that goes a much longer way than like maybe being gifted a $15 plaque or saying that's like live, laugh, love, a little like thing on it because it came from the person directly. Like they made that, they put their effort into it and gave it to you. So it really tugs on your heartstrings from that emotional aspect of it because it made me slash the audience, think back on the importance of just these handmade gifts and establishing connections or deeper connections that were already there. I don't know. Pathos, in my opinion, is just a very important part of writing, and obviously reading too. Like I want to be able to establish an emotional connection with my audience when I write, because I like it when the author does the same for me. I like being able to connect with this. So that's why I thought these three things, one to describe what pathos is, and then two to like give more like in-depth examples on how it's used in text, in books, in excerpts from books. I thought that was really unique. So yeah, that concludes my MIDI synthesis too. My name is Gabe Monsivais, and I hope you enjoyed.